It's really fun to refine the alignment of your poses. And in one pose, utthita trikonasana or triangle pose, I find that this inside triangle, the leg of this triangle, gets so short. Here's a way that you can just kind of focus on getting that length. We start in a kneeling pose and then move to stretch your hamstrings. We finish with triangle pose. So enjoy this short practice where we dive into lengthening of the side body. Let's begin. Let's come to a kneeling position so that we can do parighasana. It's not, it has a similar form as triangle. So let's just try it out. So come to your knees, reach your right foot to the side, and just line up your right foot with your left knee. And just inch your right foot a little bit further as you're coming toward a straight leg. Lift your toes up. So it might be somewhat of a balance pose here. So as you lift the toes of the right foot up and you're kneeling on the left knee, and if this is too much weight on your knee, provide some padding for yourself. So as you draw from the heel into the pelvis, sometimes I go into this pose, maybe you do the same thing. You just kind of see how much stretch you can get here. But the first action actually is to take your pant leg crease down so that it's almost like you're taking the top of the pelvis to drape it over the top of the thigh there, right? So it's no rounding or doming of these side ribs. So draw over first. You've got this nice length. Just like in triangle pose, you find a place that works for your hand, somewhere on the shin bone for most of us. Some people can even take their hand to the floor, to the outside of the leg without compromising the pose. So just find your position before reaching your arm up. Keep pulling in from the heel to the pelvis. Keep reaching, and now you can get this nice doming quality of the ribs. After we've done the correct pelvic movement, you come to the fuller form of the pose. And inhale, lift yourself up out of the pose. Very good. Let's come to the other side now. Kneeling position again as you step your left foot out. So first just start with the foot right under the knee as you get your balance, and then sneak the foot away from your knee. Lift your toes up. Draw in from the heel to the right knee. And the same thing, you're just working to almost like stack your pelvic tip over the leg first. The spine stays nice and elongated in this lateral movement. Now we get this refined lateral stretch as you take your hand somewhere that feels right. Again, it can be to the floor for some of us, or a block, or your shin bone, wherever feels right. Reach your right arm up and keep a nice strong action of your extended leg. Spread your toes so that leg stays very safe. As you reach over, you feel this beautiful length from the pelvis to the armpit, out through the crown of the head and the fingertips. You can reach just a little bit deeper in your pose so you enjoy this nice feeling of expansiveness there. And now that we have the side body, so lengthen through this pose called parighasana, root down to inhale and lift yourself up. Now that we have so much length here, let's come up to a standing pose, a wide leg standing pose. And in this wide leg standing pose with your feet parallel, just pause here for a moment. Take your right hand down so it's right underneath your sternum. It's right at the center line there. So as you press the fingertips down, let your left arm just kind of reach up. So take your gaze out to the left side and release your hand down. We'll do this a couple times here. Inhale, lift your arm up so you're starting to twist, taking your gaze in the direction of the twist. Take your hand down. And you discover your limits in this twist. Each repetition, you see that, oh, maybe I could go a little bit further here. So it's not a tipping of the pelvic tips. We're just trying to get a little bit more opening of the upper chest. And two more. And as you come to your final lift of the left arm in the twist, see if you can pause there. Now, again, the outer hip, the right inner thigh, you're starting to feel, oh, it's that diagonal strength that we've been working with. You're starting to feel like, oh, I see, by lifting the left hand, I'm really starting to inspire my right inner thighs here. But see that the right inner thigh just doesn't collapse in. See if you can keep the pelvis aligned nicely. Release your hand down. And same thing, have your left hand right under your chest there, right at the midline. And as you press down through the fingertip tops with the right arm straight, just start doing some easy and slow twists, right? You're just moving the arm really easily. Your legs are staying strong. I realize we've been in this stance for a while, so they might be getting fatigued, and the back of the knees might be talking to you. So you should take your feet a little narrower if that's the case for you. As you start to discover your limits, like as you do these repetitions, you start to see, oh, the more I do them, the more I feel like I can open up just a little bit more fully. And two more. And on this last one, keep your right arm lifted. Just come to the fullness of your twist as you just start to notice how the relationship between your lifted right hand and your left inner thigh, how much connection that is. Can you keep your hips parallel in this twist? And slowly release your hand down with your feet parallel to each other, your hands right at your hips. Draw your right toes out. Inhale, take your arms up, sweep your arms up. Just get this nice openness in the chest. Exhale, take your hand down. And take your hand down to wherever it freely falls here. Take your lifted arm to your waist and look down at the mat. Bend your knee just slightly, the front knee just slightly. And maybe you can travel your hands just a little bit lower. And the front leg doesn't have to come absolutely straight. See if you can come toward a straight leg position, though, as you take the head of your left arm bone back to open your chest more fully. From there, expand and reach your left arm up. So you come to your version of utthita trikonasana for today. Like, what is that aspect of the pose that you're finding brings real limitations to you? Like, is it the back of the knee? Are you feeling such strain here? Or is it the rotation of the chest? Find some way to just bring a little bit more brightness to your pose. And as you root down through the back leg, have that support you fully to lift yourself out of the pose and release your hands. The strength of the back leg has a nice, easeful transition. One of the problems when we're coming out of the pose, they find that that's where people have the most injuries in yoga. You're just like your mind is moving on to the next pose. But that finishing piece to pull yourself with clarity out of the pose is so important. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, draw down and pause here. Pause here so you can make these refinements in your pose. Take your lifted arm down, look down toward the floor. Maybe you can just somehow refine the alignment by doing a slight bend to the knee and take your hand just to a different spot so that you can feel like you're getting length to the underside ribs. You're reaching the crown of the head forward. You're taking the head of the right arm bone back. And from there, from the power that you've rooted in through the back leg, you get this nice fullness as you come to the full form of the pose. Reach your arm up. Keep opening the chest nicely. Pause in the pose. Keep strength in the legs as you pull the feet in toward one another to inhale and lift yourself up out of the pose. Exhale, release your hands. So, thank you so much for joining this quick practice and exploration. Enjoy your day. Namaste.